Welcome to 303 BPM, keeping the pulse on Denver's underground EDM scene. I'm your host, Evening Bass, and this is the sound of the underground. Today's guest is a Tennessee-born rapper with a distinctive style. He's toured with Marvel Years, been featured in many big producer DJ sets such as Prob Cause, and he's performed at some of Colorado's most iconic venues. By day, he works in tech. By night, he's fully in his creative lane. His live rapping brings a fresh energy to the EDM space, something you don't normally get at most shows. Welcome, Louie Letdown. How's your day going?
It's going pretty good. Been a pretty chill morning. Had some coffee, played some Guitar Hero, you know,
Oh,
kicked off a Sunday about as well as one could.
dang. Whenever I think of Guitar Hero or like any Wii game
hmm
or Wii related game, I'm like, have you had that game for the last like 10 years? In my mind, they're not making those games anymore.
Right. Yeah, I recently bought a PS2. I did have it when I was a kid, but I did have to get a new PS2 and I say new, but it was used.
Right.
But and then also a Guitar Hero guitar. I had the game itself, but my guitars are MIA and my
hmm
PS2 is not functioning in
Um,
2025, unfortunately.
so what level have you gotten to?
Expert. Yeah, I had to.
Through
I
the fire and
No,
flames.
not that crazy, but I did. I played through the first one recently on hard, and I was like, I can do this on expert. So I've been playing through the second one on expert, much slower process
Yeah.
than playing through it on hard. But I'm getting the chops back.
Do you play guitar or like a
Not
real
even a little bit.
instrument?
No,
Okay.
I'm sorry, no string
No
instruments. I took
strings.
piano lessons for 4 years when I was a kid. And I don't produce that often anymore. But when I do, I have like a MIDI keyboard that I can like play melodies on and stuff like that.
You don't produce that often.
Right. So I primarily rap. Like most of the music I'm writing is rap. So all
Mm.
like if you go to my Spotify or SoundCloud, it's all hip hop.
Yeah.
Um, I have produced a couple of my own beats. My most recent song that I released, "Check This," which came out August 20 August 19th. I should remember the date. It came out sometime in August.
hmm
But either way, I did produce that one, and I'm pretty proud of that.
Cool.
But most of the instrumentals I rap on are produced by other people.
Okay, cool. It's always fascinating to learn how people's process and how they produce, is Louis your real name?
Yeah, I mean, my mom calls me Lewis, but like I introduce myself as Louis generally because it feels more casual. I don't mind being called Lewis, but Louis just feels more like a friend rather than me getting in trouble as a kid.
Like, that's my father's name.
Right, exactly. Those vibes.
Cool. Well, yeah, how'd you come up with Louis
That's
Letdown?
actually a funny story. So I used to go by Louis 14,
Okay.
and this was back in 2019, I want to say, like right when I first started like playing shows and releasing music, maybe 2018. And I finally had a show at your mom's house. It was one of my
hmm
first like shows where I was on the lineup.
Yeah.
Because like as a rapper, especially like when I was getting my start, a lot of my performances were somebody just pulling me up to do a song or two.
Yeah.
So it was rare for me to actually be able to book my own show back then. And much more common for a friend to say, "Hey, do you want to come like spit a 16 over one of my beats at my show?"
Yeah.
So I finally like got one of my own shows. I was really excited for it. It was at your mom's house. Don't even remember who I was opening for. I think it was a rapper that goes by Five, who randomly actually just messaged me on Instagram. But
Huh.
regardless, I was really excited for it. I was promoting it. Spotify does this thing where it can kind of detect when you have a show coming up. And I don't know what algorithm they use or how they find that out, but you've probably noticed if you use Spotify, sometimes when you're listening to your favorite artist, it'll say, like, hey, they're coming to your city on this date or in this area near you.
Yeah.
So what happened was there's a band that was called Louis 14 that was really big in the mid 2000s,
Oh.
and they had millions of streams on Spotify. They were much more of a legit band than my project, especially at that time. And I got an email with the subject "cease and desist." And in the email, it was from their manager. It basically said, either you can change your name, or I can have our lawyer write a more sternly written
Change it for
email.
you.
Right, exactly. And they were like, we have a patent on the name. You're not going to win this. You should just
Damn.
change it. We don't need to go into a legal battle over this. This is also like maybe a year into me, like actually like, releasing
Mhm.
music and playing shows. So I was still very green.
How old were you?
24, I want to say. I was born in 95. So it either happened in 2018 or 2019. I think it was the beginning of 2019.
Okay, but still, like a little 24-year-old getting an
Right.
email saying cease and desist, you're like, what the hell did I do?
From a far more legitimate like band,
Yes, like a
and
record label's emailing you, and you're like,
right.
oh, record label.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, dang, what do I change my name to? At the time, my roommates had been calling me Louie Letdown, just like as a joke. And I had already been considering like learning how to DJ and starting a DJ side project called Louie Letdown.
Hmm.
And after the cease and desist, I was like, well, nobody's ever going to steal this name. I'm not going to ever have
Yeah.
to worry about it. And if you listen to my music, it's not like Lil Dicky level self deprecating, but there's like that element to it a little bit. So I was like,
Yeah,
it does kind of fit.
fits the
The people
vibes.
who get it get it.
Hmm.
Some people either get it or they don't. They're either like, "Why would you ever name yourself that?" Or they're like, "Oh, like that's funny." And generally, the people who like think it's funny, I think are the type of people that would gravitate towards my music more anyway.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's the whole name of the game of being your authentic self and just kind of trusting that the right people will find you. And I don't know, I think you're doing something right if you're being misunderstood,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, without a doubt.
So, yeah. So, where are you originally from?
I was born in Austin, Texas, but
Cool.
we moved to Johnson City, Tennessee,
Oh,
which is
okay.
the northeastern tip of Tennessee. It's near Knoxville and like Chattanooga. Shout out to 423. Um, I grew up there, so basically from as early as I could develop memories to, graduating high school at 18.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just it's a great place to call home. Their music scene is developing. I actually know some promoters out there that they just booked Shanghai Doom at this like local venue in JC. There's probably
Wow.
like 70K people in Johnson City, so it's like not that big. Plus, it's grown a lot since I was a kid. Um, but yeah, shout out to JC. I definitely still have some homies there. I honestly love it back home, and yeah. But the promoters, I think it's a Channel 865. I'm blanking on the name. They just booked me to open for Prop Cause in Knoxville not too
Ooh,
long ago.
no way.
Yeah, it was sick. But I love those guys. Shout out to Wade. Shout out to Andrew. Honeybee Sounds. Um,
Yeah, that's
but
cool.
yeah, they throw shows in JC, Chattanooga, Knoxville. And yeah, Johnson City was a cool place to call home. Um, just a small kind of city in East Tennessee.
Cool. So you grew up there, graduated from high school. Did you take like the college route or
Yeah,
did you? Okay,
so
what
I
was that
played
like?
soccer in
Oh,
Birmingham, Alabama.
you
At
definitely give soccer vibes
yeah,
for sure.
I
Can
think
see that.
anyone who knows me, I think that definitely holds true. Um, but yeah, I played soccer at BSC, Birmingham Southern. Birmingham Southern actually had to close their doors not too long ago. They just mismanaged their money. Like I think there was a lot of issues with how they were spending their money and budgeting even before I went there. But yeah, I played soccer for my freshman and sophomore year, and then got an internship going into my junior year. And my coach was like, "You can't do both," which at the time I was frustrated by, but in retrospect, I think it would have been too much anyway.
Yeah.
And I knew I wasn't going to play professional soccer; like I wasn't even close to good enough. And I was like, this internship will actually help me with my career outside of school. So I
Hmm.
was like, I'm going to go that route instead.
Yeah. Hey,
It,
it's a good thing you kind of, if they're already heading down that path and you were then gonna place your future really in their hands by committing to soccer with no guarantee,
right.
like I think you definitely made the right choice. And I'm
Yeah.
sure when you're like as a young person, that's so hard because you're
Yeah.
like, you've been doing soccer your whole life,
Yeah.
right? So that's cool. What was the internship?
It was at, which one was that? I did a bunch of internships when I was in college. I think the first one was with, it was at this place called Innovation Depot in Birmingham, where they would basically house all of these startups. It was like this tech company that did a coding boot camp, and I was like their social media person. So I would like help them develop their content and like post to their socials. Depot U, I think is what it was called. Um, anyway, oh no, Platypi, that's what it was called. So Platypi
Whoa.
was kind of like the umbrella organization, and then they had like a coding boot camp. They offered marketing services, and I initially was helping out with their coding boot camp and like doing their socials, but ended up helping out with like a few different projects. There was one called Throw Like a Pro, where this dude Doer Gaines um worked with pitchers that it was like preventative stretches and exercises so that they didn't have to get like Tommy John surgery. Like it was like, stretching exercises to help protect their arm, basically. So anyway, Innovation Depot did a bunch of different stuff, housed a bunch of different like startups, and Platypi worked with a bunch of different organizations.
Oh,
And yeah, I was basically like a digital marketing intern.
cool. And wow. And that's like, I feel like around my senior year of high school, which was 2016 to 2017, that's when social media really started ramping up. There's
Hmm.
like an exponential, almost like an exponential curve with just like how much of a stronghold it has over our society. And so it sounds like you got to kind of see that happen because that's
Yeah.
around the time you were doing that.
Exactly. So, what I'll say is like in college, they didn't teach us anything about like digital marketing, but these internships, this was like the birth of search engine optimization,
Yeah.
like SEO. So it was not just like using sponsored Facebook ads, which used to be way more powerful than they are today. Like the ways that you could target people, it was a little bit more lawless, but like
Yeah.
it was a very powerful marketing, and it still is, but back then especially. So I helped out with a lot of sponsored ads, and then I would write like press releases and articles for the blogs of these different organizations to help them rank better on Google
Yeah.
through, yeah, like search engine optimization. And like there was a whole science behind it. The algorithm changed and probably still changes all
Yeah.
the time.
Well, the algorithm used to be, I feel like, more analog. Like we had more power through SEO to create that algorithm, but
Hmm.
now they have AI and all these things that like trump human productivity. Like I
Yeah.
don't know how better to say it, but it's it's like how do I the way that the same way that like the income inequality gap is getting more and more every day, I feel
Hmm.
like that same thing applies with business knowledge
Yeah.
and tools and even going to college now. You don't know if you're going to be learning the right stuff because they're all still figuring out how to teach
Right.
AI.
Oh,
So,
totally. It's been super interesting to see how education has evolved through AI becoming more accessible,
mhm.
to just anybody with the internet, basically.
Yeah, so a whole new slew of problems, but also like benefits that we don't
Yeah.
even know yet of how to use. So,
Yeah. Agreed.
wow, pretty cool that you got to see that and you got to learn it as it was changing.
Yeah.
Do you still use those skills today? Like,
Really only to market my music project. Like my full-time job is at a software company. Like I do I'm more sales adjacent now. I kind of like am a specialist that the salespeople will bring onto a call for a certain type of situation.
hmm,
But yeah, I use some of those things that I learned when I'm like just doing marketing for my own music project. But so much has changed since then. The kind of like rule of thumb that I use is like anytime a social media platform tries something new, I usually try to like abuse that because they typically push the new like feature or
like threads.
delivery method of content.
Yeah.
So I think that like just trying out anytime a social media company does that, even if it feels corny or like people aren't going to use it, like they're usually pushing those harder than their more traditional methods
Tried
of
and
delivery.
true. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. I mean,
Um,
Threads for a while was being pushed so hard onto my algorithm, and I finally made an account, but it feels like I made one too late. To now, it's like I'm
yeah.
lost in the usual algorithm again. So,
Yeah. It's very much a situation of like, I think marketing, in a nutshell, is like there's no one proven method. You have to constantly push everything out on every possible platform.
It's
And
exhausting.
yeah, because even if a post doesn't do well on one platform, it's like you have to just try everything out. And it's, yeah, I agree. It's super exhausting.
All right, you were doing the internship for a little while. What did you do? Like, did you graduate or did they close
Yeah.
down?
No, so they didn't close until 5 or 6 years after I graduated, maybe
Got
even
it.
longer. Yeah, I did the internship. I think I did like 5 total internships in college. I
You're
did quite a few.
crazy.
I just like wanted to like stay busy outside of class, and
Yeah.
um, I knew that it would help me get a job after I graduated. And yeah, started. That's when I really started going to shows like that. I was not an electronic music fan until I was like almost 20, like
Mhm.
19 or 20. I really only liked hip hop for the longest time. I was like, oh, if it doesn't have lyrics in it, it's dumb. Like I
Oh
was like one of
yeah.
those people. And then
Mhm.
I went to a show, He Who Must Not Be Named,
Oh
New
no.
Year's Eve 20, like going into 2015, and it was just life changing. Like it was a life
Oh,
changing
I
event,
bet.
and like fuck that guy, I don't support him at all. But after that, I did start listening to more electronic music. I
Yeah.
actually gravitated more towards Pretty Lights than like heavier bass music.
Yeah.
And I would still say that's like where I kind of swing. But I do like dubstep a lot. My appreciation for it has grown a lot. Um, so yeah, just started going to a ton of shows. I was still doing internships. I was in Birmingham, so and especially the school I went to was like a little bit preppy, like BSC.
Mhm.
And I had cool, like I for sure had friends there that were cool, but um, yeah, it wasn't the electronic music scene in Birmingham. I saw Big Wild open for Grizz at a venue that was like a 200 cap venue. It was insane. The first Chasing the Golden Hour is what got me into his music. Like that was the first project of his that I listened to, and I was like, oh wow, like this is my shit.
Mhm. Okay, right, right. I'm looking up all of the albums right now. Man, he has just so many bangers.
He has an insane discography.
He
Grizz is dope.
does. We love
I have a
shout out
crazy Grizz
Grizz.
story too, but I can wait if we want to keep the if we want to keep it
Continuity.
yeah, if we want to keep the continuity, because we
Sure.
will get there, I'm sure.
Yeah, well then let's keep moving it along. So you graduated from college. Did you immediately start working in Alabama or what
No,
led you to?
so I wanted to get out of Alabama. No
Yeah,
offense to Alabama.
I'm sure people in Alabama understand.
There's really cool parts of Alabama. I like Birmingham. I would totally go back. Food is undefeated. But
I've
yeah,
heard that
yeah.
about it. I've
Shout
heard
out
they
to
have
Dreamland
great
Barbecue.
food.
Shout out to Saws. They have some insanely good barbecue. But I got a job in West Palm Beach in Florida, right out of school. So I didn't even like go home after I graduated. I
Yeah.
literally like had all of my stuff from my like apartment at the time and just drove to West Palm Beach, which is just north of Miami. And I was working in an athlete recruiting agency where we would basically find college scholarships for international athletes, and I helped with marketing and kind of helped with sales. Um, it was a good learning experience, is what
Mhm.
I'll say.
Yeah.
Um, what I also realized is Florida is a great place to visit, not necessarily where I want to live.
Nice.
The weather is just insane,
Oh my
and
God, yeah. You feel
um,
like you're getting attacked by the weather when you're out there. It's so hot and muggy.
I would be driving home and look at the sky and think that the sky's opening up and spawning some type of demon because it was just like scary, scary skies,
Dang.
scary looking skies.
Yeah,
Um,
and too on the east side of Florida, especially, you have to worry about hurricanes
they
and like
got
extreme weather.
rocked with a hurricane a week after I moved. My mom was like so happy that I moved out of Florida. Not even because she like doesn't like Florida, but just because like my mom does like climate science. Like she was a journalist who would do interviews with scientists about like climate change, and she always told me like be careful of coastal cities because like they're going to be the first to
True,
be like really heavily impacted by climate change.
true,
So she was stoked when I moved from Florida,
true.
because she was like, and to her point, we got rocked with a hurricane, or they got rocked with a hurricane right after I
She's
moved.
like, I fucking told you so.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, Florida. I mean, like I met there's some cool people I met, but I just felt like it wasn't for me. I knew I had wanted to move to Colorado for a long time anyway.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I had set my eyes on.
So then, how long were you in Florida for before you're like, meh?
4 months maybe, like not that long.
So where'd you go from there? Did
I
you go back
moved.
home?
Yeah, I actually started my own business, my own digital marketing company, and I called PKM Pocket Knife Marketing, which no longer exists. I dissolved it because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing at all. But I did sign a few clients enough to like get by where I would just help them, with the same stuff that I interned for digital marketing, stuff like that. And yeah, moved back home, probably lived back home for another like 3 months, and then got a sales job at an edible company here in Colorado.
Oh, cool.
Um, I knew I wanted to move to Colorado, and I was like, I just need to like get out of Florida for a second and like get my shit together. And then
Yeah.
a job opportunity came up pretty quick in Denver after going back home.
Denver was just waiting for you.
It really
Does it
was.
feel like that?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So then what year did you move out here?
2017.
Cool.
It was, I think, Halloween. I think I got into Denver on Halloween of 2017.
I also moved out here in the fall of 2017.
Nice.
So
Oh, no way.
we've been
That's
out
cool.
here for the same amount of time. Let's
Yeah.
fucking go.
Sick.
So I went here to go to DU.
Okay.
And I had no idea anything about EDM, anything about it.
Interesting.
I missed out on the Sugar Cube. Like I was here when all these things
I could
were
go
here.
into Sugar Cube.
Oh,
I have
please do.
I have some Sugar Cube stories.
Please do.
Yeah. Do you want me to tell them now?
Well, I mean, we
Yeah, we
you're
could get
in
there.
Denver, so yeah.
Okay, so I'll just tell one. So I had the Sugar Cube membership. I actually had the opportunity to perform at Sugar Cube. So
Aw.
Daily Bread played the Ogden,
Mhm.
and after the Ogden, he did an after party at Sugar Cube. My friend Nick, he goes by Cat Party. Shout out to Nick. Was playing after Rhett. So those who know
Oh.
Sugar Cube, it's like after parties. They don't start until super late.
Mhm.
I think Daily Bread played at 3, maybe. Um, he was done around like 4 or 4:30,
Mhm.
and then I was playing with my friend Nick, and I stay sober before I perform. So I had just been drinking yerba mate for
Oh
like
my God.
6
So
hours.
you're like jittery.
Yeah,
You're,
I'm just like trying to
tweaking.
stay awake in any way I can. I was like sleeping in the green room before my set. And yeah, we hit it like 4:30, and it was still to this date the latest set. Oh, and I just played one song at the beginning, but yeah, that was a trip. I was
4:30 out
Yeah,
at a club too.
I
I
think I
mean,
gave myself like caffeine poisoning
oh my
because
God,
my
yeah,
stomach felt crazy.
for sure. Oh my gosh, wow. That's I've only heard stories of Sugar Cube, so
Their sound system was insane.
are you still working at that edible company or
No, so they went under in March of 2018? No, 2019.
that
Um,
sucks. One day you're at a job and the next day you're like, well, guess I
yes
just
and
got laid
no.
off.
Yes and no. I mean, the writing was on the walls. I did my marketing. I was still doing my marketing stuff on the side, like the
Mhm.
pocket knife marketing stuff. I did that for a few months, and then got a job at this company called Pax8, which was my
Oh,
first kind of like.
love a PAX.
Yeah, so this is a tech company. Unfortunately,
Oh,
it's
I
not
thought
the
you're
weed. Yeah, everybody thinks that,
dang
which
it.
is fair. But
Way more
um,
fun.
yeah, Pax8 was cool. I learned a lot. That's how I kind of got involved in the tech world, and it was a cool experience. I worked there for like 5 years. I think my music stuff started halfway through like the Edipure journey, and I think really my project developed a lot while I was like working at Pax8 for sure. What I'll say is like the early years at Pax8 were great. The people there are really cool, generally speaking. As with most tech companies that have outside shareholders as
Mhm.
their like primary investors,
Yeah.
the decision making power shifts from people inside the company who know how it operates to investors who just want to see a return on their investment. So yeah, it got shitty like the last couple years. I got put in some uncomfortable positions, and I actually quit in June of last year, and took a year long sabbatical, which arguably was the best year of my life. I think we met like right around when I quit Pax8. Around that time last year, I opened for this Mac Miller tribute band.
That's what it was. Yep,
Yeah,
I remember you telling
that
me
was
about that.
October. That was right after the Europe trip. But yeah, that
It's
was really
cool.
cool. Shout out to them. I got to be main support for them at Serves on the other side. That was a really fun show. Did kind of like a hybrid DJ rap set for that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, everyone in their band was super friendly. They crushed it. I think they like, truly honor Mac. Like, I mean, they're all big
Yeah.
Mac Miller fans. I'm a big Mac Miller fan. You could, you could feel that they really like gave his music a
Like,
new
did it
breath of life.
justice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which was really cool. So this year has been pretty crazy as far as shows go. I headlined Lost Lake here in Denver on my 30th birthday, and we sold it out, which was tight. It's a
Cool.
200 cap venue. Shout out to the openers, Samso and S'mores. Samso is Sam Ackles and our homie Keith on the drums. They're both really dope. Kind of like Thievery Corporation esque, but very much their own sound. I would just say like I would if you're familiar with Thievery Corporation, like, and you're a fan of theirs, then I think you would like Samso.
Thievery
S'mores is a very eclectic
Corporation.
DJ. He plays garage, drum and bass, house, dubstep, a lot of different genres, and just has a very good ear, very clean mixing. Genuinely one of the nicest people I've ever met. And it was a really fun show. I basically did all of my own original music, started with like the first songs I ever released, and then kind of chronologically went to like, you know, my newer stuff and everything in between. It was
That's
really
so
dope.
cool.
What I'll say is like I never thought when I like performed for my first time back in, I want to say it was like 2018, that um you know I had no idea what the expectations for my project would be, and the fact that I was able to headline and sell out a venue that 200 people, it's not like that's a huge venue, but like that's enough so that that's like a significant amount of people like made the time and energy and paid for tickets to come to a show,
Yeah.
and that, like, to be able to share stuff that I've written, from back to 2018 or sometimes even earlier. It was just really insane. It felt like the time and energy that I've put into the project was worth it.
Yeah.
And what I'll say is like the first, I'm sure most artists have similar experiences. The first shows I played were like empty rooms and empty open mics. And when people started actually coming to shows, it really changes the way you write music, because like you kind of approach it like, oh, I'm going to be able to like perform this in front of like a room full of people, instead of like I'm just writing stuff that's just going out into the void. But yeah, so kicked off the year with that. That was in March of this year. I did a show with Pfeiffer and Motif in Durango in April,
Cool.
which was really sick. Shout out to Eugene at Animus Theater. That was tight. Kind of did a hybrid DJ rap set for that one too. Played a lot of my originals. Anytime you have it wasn't like sold out show, but like even to just have like a crowd of people at your set for anything outside of your city. Like nowadays in Denver, like I can reliably play a show where people will show up to, but anything outside of Denver, it's basically been like new markets for me. So like being able to like play for a crowd in a city that I'm not living was really cool.
Hmm.
Durango was awesome.
That's
And
so cool.
just hanging out with Nick and Joe was like just as fun as the show itself. Like they're both
Yeah.
such nice people.
I thought you were more of a DJ producer, but it sounds like you're more of a lyricist
Right.
rapper.
So like getting into kind of the roots of the project, like it was all hip hop when I started. Like I didn't
Hmm.
know how to DJ, I didn't know how to produce. I was only a rapper, and I would have other people DJ for me like during my sets, and I was just rapping the whole time.
Yeah.
And over COVID, that really evolved into me learning how to scratch vinyl.
No
And when I
way.
picked that up, that's when I was like, I should learn how to DJ too, because it goes hand in hand with scratching, and I won't have to like rely on somebody else, for my sets. I would say COVID is when I kind of like flipped that switch to really taking DJing and producing more seriously. Like
Yeah.
I was producing a ton in Ableton during COVID, and really up until I got my most recent job in May, like the 9 to 5 that I'm working now, I was producing all the time. But now I'm just sitting in front of a laptop anyway all day for work, and then trying to find the motivation to
Girl, I see you.
to sit down in front of the laptop.
Girl.
And that's why I love hip hop. Like what I can do, like when I get off work, I like take a dab, put my headphones on and walk my dog and play beats in my headphones, and write music in like my notes app on my phone. And
That's
it's like,
beautiful.
I guess technically now that I'm saying it out loud, also like looking at a screen, but like
It's a little different.
it's different than like being locked in Ableton on your
It's
laptop,
different.
because I work from home, and just like being in my little home office,
Yeah.
yeah, it feels
Oh,
nice to
yeah.
stretch the legs, and being able to write music in that capacity just feels right to me right now. We'll see.
Ooh, tell me about your feelings about AI.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that it has a lot of potential to do good. My issue isn't with AI itself, it's with data centers in places that, like, these big tech conglomerates are, oppressing the people
Oh,
in
yeah.
these places, and like using all their clean water, and it's not like a positive thing to have for the community. So it's like the logistics of AI are my issues with it more so than AI itself.
Right.
My like conspiracy fear more so is that like it's going to become really powerful and have a lot of potential really powerful upsides, but it's going to be in the hands of people who don't care about making the world a better
The
place and are
technocratic oligarchs.
exactly and are
Yes.
just, interested in profiting off of it rather than making the world a better place. Even if AI has the power to cure a lot of our problems, they're not going to do so without like paywalling it in a way that still restricts, the benefits of it, um, to people who are, who have the money to pay for it. At this point in time, I'm worried about the environmental impacts and the
Totally.
community impacts of like the places where they're sprouting up these data centers.
Well, do you ever think AI is going to become sentient?
Um, Honestly, like, yeah, I do. I'm pretty worried about it. I don't. I here's what I'll say: if it continues to develop at the rate that it has over the past couple years, yes, it will. Especially with like the current administration, like Trump and JD Vance have made it really clear that they don't want to put up guardrails around developing AI, which I think is a huge mistake. Like, I think without being able to have some regulation in place so that people aren't using it for like creating a new virus or like I don't know developing weapons or things like that, um or like crazy like internet like ransomware viruses and things like that. Without those guardrails, I think something really fucked up can happen with AI. So I don't know.
Gotcha.
I mean, I don't like necessarily think it ever should be sentient. Is it already sentient and it knows that we're going to continue to train it without it like becoming like as becoming what we would consider self-aware? Like that's a kind of crazy conspiracy theory, because it
Right.
wants us to still continue to give it access into all of the data that trains it. But wouldn't it behoove the AI to not let
Not
us know
let us
so that we
know.
continue to give it full access into all of our
Right.
data and art and everything?
Bo, just stay cautious and I don't know, do your research. Kind of moving back towards like EDM experiences. Um, I know we're kind of taking a step way back, but you said you were growing up on like rap, hip hop, R&B.
Yeah.
What was your first? I know you mentioned your first EDM
He who must not
experience
be named. Yep.
was the New Year's Eve experience.
Yeah.
Was that like a oh my friend just invited me to the show
Yeah.
or
So I had some friends from East Tennessee. Shout out my homie Pink, Ryan Pinkerman. And he had been going to shows and festivals for a while, trying to get me to go. I was a hater. Like the only EDM song I liked was Mode Step. The sunlight hurts my eyes. I think that's what it's called. Sunlight hurts my eyes. Absolute banger. Shout
yep.
out Mode Step. But I remember seeing that music video and being like, yeah, that's kind of sick. But most of the rest of it, I was the this is I can't believe I'm admitting this on wax, but I was the number one Pretty Lights hater for a while. My friends were
Oh.
playing it around me for years, and it's anyone who knows me. That's ironic to hear because I'm way too obsessed with Pretty Lights now. Yes, that's basically what happened. All of my friends were going to that New Year's Eve show. I was like, sure, I'm down. It'd be cool to experience something new.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was just life changing. It was G Jones, Tipper, Bass
And
Nectar. That was the lineup. It was
are
insane.
you fucking kidding
Yeah.
me?
And Tipper,
Damn.
especially back then, I didn't have like a palette for any
You
electronic
got
music.
tipped and you didn't even know.
I was questioning everything, all question marks. All I could see was question marks. Um,
wow.
but yeah, that was a really cool experience. Yeah, after that, I really did gravitate more towards electro soul, like Pretty Lights,
Mm-hmm.
Marvel Years, Manic Focus. Shout out J Mac, huge fan of his. I
Mm-hmm.
actually beat him in Mario Kart a couple weeks ago. I had kind of a crazy experience because when I was in college, I was listening to Manic Focus every day, and I was like, man, it'd be so cool to meet him someday. I had no music industry experience back then, no, other than just rapping casually at a party, like no real music experience, and other than like playing piano as a kid. But I was like, someday I'm gonna meet Manic Focus. Like I just know it's gonna happen. And sure enough, like less than a month ago, I was at a house party and Manic Focus was there, and I was like,
oh,
dude, let's play some Mario Kart.
yeah.
And it was like it was like a life moment.
That's
Like you
so
could ask my girlfriend, I
cool.
didn't stop talking about it forever.
Cool. It's cool when you start meeting the artists, when you start meeting people that you kind of idolized, and then you're like, oh, they're just people too.
Yeah,
It not only takes away a lot of the pressure, but I think it also kind of leads you towards the conclusion of like, well, if they can do it, like I sure as hell can do it. I mean, we're
yeah,
all just people at the end of the day, just doing our best, trying to make,
yeah.
you know, do what we love. So,
So crazy story. I think this is like a nice bridge. the first show I ever played was at Cervantes. It wasn't even my own set. I just was jumping up to do a couple songs. Shout out to Mikey Thunder and Jordan Polovina for letting me jump up during their set. Back in the day, there was a Research Wednesday show at Cervantes here in Denver every Wednesday, and Mikey and Jordan would were the resident hosts, so they would kick off the night. They were the first opener every week, and I had been covering the show for this music blog that I was writing for a while, and they knew that I rapped, and they were like, "Hey, do you want to come jump up and do a couple songs?" So I rapped this verse over "Pretty Lights Is Always Always" that I had written in college, and a verse over "Feelin' High," which was from the first "Chasing the Golden Hour" from Grizz's like mixtape album. So the headliner that night was Congo Sanchez, and Grizz ended up coming and playing a secret set that night. It was during his hiatus after Good Will Prevail came out and he did the tour and then took a hiatus, but he would still pop up and do these unannounced sets. I got to meet him backstage in the green room. Keep in mind, this is the first time I ever performed in my life. Got to talk to him about rapping over "Feelin' High." He was so nice, so down to earth. He was like, "Yeah, man, you should like keep doing it." Like, just was so like positive and
really being the kind of person that he presents himself.
Exactly, 100%. And that night was when I really decided like I want to continue to pursue music and like actually start releasing stuff and
when Grizz tells you you have to keep going, you have to keep going.
Yeah, it was insane. But yeah, shout out to Grizz. That was really cool. Shuka was there. I talked to like I was nerding out, so I had known Maddie for a bit, Maddie O'Neill, and I was just like I was hanging with her in the green room and like Grizz was there and I was like, "Maddie, I'm like so nervous, like Grizz is there." And she's like, "Just go say hi, like, you know, don't be weird." Like just and in my head I was like, I'm just gonna go there and tell him I appreciate his music and then I'm gonna get out of there. You know, I'm gonna not and they were like I kind of said that and then Shuka, I was wearing this like Michael Menner long sleeve and he recognized the artist and he was like, "Oh, that's like so and so." I don't remember the artist name. And like him and Grizz were just like talking about it and I was just like standing there and I was like, "Oh my gosh, what do I do?" I was like, I was like, "Let's just be chill.
What do I
be
do
chill.
with my hands? What do I do with my hands?"
Wait for the conversation to end, dap him up, and just get out of there. And I did, and it was like totally smooth. And it was life changing. Seriously, it was a really crazy moment. What I'll say, I think the greatest piece of advice that I could offer to somebody thinking about getting into music is, comparison is the thief of joy. Like I know that's cliche, but it couldn't be more true. There's always going to be situations where you feel like you deserve an opportunity more than someone else. And there's always going to be situations where you get an opportunity that somebody else deserves more than you. It's all smoke and mirrors. What I've really had to have a conversation with myself about recently as I submit for shows and get turned down for them and get accepted for some is I need to not attach my happiness to the performance of my music and to whether or not I get a show that I'm submitting for, and instead focus my creative energy on writing music that I resonate with and let that be everything that comes with it. Great, you know, but the you know, my energy needs to go towards like, you know, creating something that I feel proud of rather than getting a show that, you know, I think is cool. Like, you know,
for
like
the clout, like for the
exactly.
like you said, smoke and mirrors. It can really be like things aren't always what they seem.
Yeah.
Especially in this scene. So it's great advice.
But yeah, and I'm lucky. I've gotten some shows this year that I feel really excited about. And when I kind of had that honest conversation with myself, it was at a point where I'd gotten turned down for a couple shows. I had submitted for a couple that I really wanted to get on, and I hadn't heard anything back for weeks. And I was just like, I can't like live every day refreshing my email on my phone, waiting for this email back from this promoter, like, and let my, you know, I can't attach my happiness to that. I need to like.
That's giving your power away.
Yeah, exactly.
Ultimately.
Agreed. That's a great way.
I mean, I've done it so much in my life too. Like you think seeking like external validation will give you that reassurance.
Right.
But
it has to come from within.
It has to come from within. Just like the moral of most of what we're talking about is it really just has to come from you.
Do you know Dev? Did you play her event at Serves?
Yeah.
I think she's a great example of someone who like you know, I think she only started DJing around a year ago and she's been crushing it. And like you can tell she like puts her energy and time and effort into it. And like I think for anybody who's skeptical about starting a project this, you know, late or whatever, it's never too early or too late. I was, you know, humble brag, I was DJing the Daily Bread merch pop-up last year before his Red Rock show. And I think it was that, and Dev was there taking pictures. It might have been the Prob Cause one because I did a couple of those.
Hmm.
Regardless, Dev was there shooting it, like taking pictures, and she was. I think Butler was maybe her roommate or a friend of hers, and he was saying she is like starting to get into DJing. He was like, check out her projects. You know, she's like, I think she had just put out her first mix or was about to. And over the last year, I've seen her like opening for Jenga. She's playing Big
Yeah.
Fam. She was main support at Serves on the other side recently.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
she's been crushing it.
She
She's a
has.
dope DJ. I've seen her at a bunch of like the pop ups, like community pop ups around Denver too.
Yeah, really, really inspiring. Oh my gosh, I love talking about music and like your journey. And I think what's really unique, you're just doing something different than the usual bass producer in Denver. Like you
Yeah,
have a different.
yeah. What I'll say is like I think rapping is my favorite thing. Like I don't think there's another form of music for me that I can connect to more than rapping. Like that's where I feel like I can be the most myself. I love producing. What I'll say about producing is I'm a better songwriter than like
Like,
engineer. Like
yeah,
I'm not good at mixing and mastering.
yeah,
Like typically what happens is I'll write a song, like produce a beat where I'm like, uh collaging samples and
right.
writing melodies and stuff like that. And then I'll take it to someone like our friend Rob, shout out Homemade Spaceship,
Shout
and
out,
he will
Rob.
make it not sound shitty, as I like to eloquently put it.
He's
And
really good at doing that.
he'll be like, "You sidechain this wrong. Your kick sounds like shit. Don't use that snare. Your this melody needs to be beefier. Respect, and like Rob and I have the relationship where he can say stuff like that, and it doesn't bother me.
You
Um,
need those people
totally.
around for
Your
sure.
your art will not get better if you don't have people that can be real with you. It's just been fun. I think it makes sense as somebody who like wants to pursue rap but also do it in Denver because like
Yep.
anyone who's like spent time in Denver just knows that it's like mostly like kind of jam band and electronic music focused.
Hmm.
So being able to fit in with those types of shows and crowds is important. And it's not, I don't think that that's like why, like, anybody who knows me knows that I connect, especially to like electro soul, like electronic music, like heavily. So it's like an honor to be able to play shows. And with like Pfeiffer and Motif, like, these are artists that I've like looked up to and listened to for a long time, even before wanting to like take rapping and performing seriously.
And here you are working with
Yeah,
them.
it's crazy. It's
So
so
cool.
crazy. This might come out after the shows happen, but Marvel Years, October 24th. It's the day before 2 nights of Daily Bread Red Rocks.
Ah,
So it's at
so
Serves.
fun.
Yeah, it's at Serves on Friday, and then Red Rocks with Daily Bread is Saturday and Sunday. I know Red actually. So I was covering his music for this music blog that I wrote for before I even started
Do you still
producing and
have
writing
it?
music. If you search Navigator
Ah,
Standby, like Compose Yourself magazine, Louis Fagelson, I bet that article is still on the internet. I covered the
compose yourself. That's
Yeah,
funny.
shout out to Ty Carpenter. I mean, that's how I met Jordan Polavina and Mikey. Like that's how I got my start kind of entering the music industry in Denver was this music blog that I used to write for where I would do artist interviews, show reviews and like song and album reviews. And yeah, so I covered Navigator Standby and Jordan Wangler, the owner of Philos Records, shout out Jordan, sent me a Navigator Standby vinyl, like as a thank you for covering it. But I got like
Wow.
guest listed to the show at Serves, like wrote a review of the show and of the album. And so anyway, I've known Rhett forever. I actually did an interview with him that was like me just sending him some questions and him answering them that never saw the light of day. But it's probably still deep in my Google Drive somewhere.
Well, we're gonna need those.
But yeah,
So,
Rhett's the homie. He gave me and Nick the opportunity to DJ his merch pop up before Red Rocks last year. And what I'll say is just like there's not a single person who deserves their success more than Rhett. Like genuinely such a nice dude and talented and cares about his fans. And
hmm,
man, can't say enough good things about the guy. Just like a real one.
yeah, and that definitely is translated through his music and through his performances and his
Totally.
shows, and it's just really cool. I wonder what it feels like to look up at a crowd of thousands of people and like see them moving to
Yeah.
your music. I'm sure even just the 200 cap room that you played,
Well,
like,
I got to close out Pretty Lights Buena Vista. Shout out to Mikey
oh,
Thunder. He
that's
let
so
me jump up
cool.
and do a track, literally the last song of the entire festival. and it was at the Silent Disco, but there was probably at least 2,000 people there. I mean, they had
Mhm.
like 3,500 pairs of headphones, and for 95% of the night, all of the headphones were in use.
Mhm.
There's probably some people who had left at the point that I went on because it was like 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
But it was a sea of people. I've never been more nervous before performing. I thought I was going to throw up, which never has happened.
I lose feeling in my
Um,
hands.
yeah, it was scary, but it's a verse that I've done 10 million times.
Mhm.
Um, so it went smooth, but it was very scary. So anyway, I can relate to that a little bit, like not on the level of like a Daily Bread or a Ganja White Night, but like
How
having a
was
couple
that?
thousand people.
How did that
It
feel?
was so scary, but it was fun. Like I always stay sober before I perform, so I just had been really sober the entire day and night. And staying up. The reason I bring that up is staying sober before a performance at like 9 p.m. Not that crazy, but when you're playing at like 3:30, just staying awake that late and like
Mhm.
staying on the whole time is just like a challenge.
Mhm.
Whether you're sober or not, honestly,
Yeah.
and yeah. So anyway, I drank an insane amount of caffeine, and but it was fun. Yeah, like shout out to Mikey for letting me jump up there, and got a bunch of really positive feedback. I had so many people who I just knew from random things that texted me after, or I would see out, and they were like, "Dude, I was at Pretty Lights, and like I saw you rapping." Like they probably like knew I rapped, but like had no idea I was gonna play there, and it was just like it was funny. All of those moments like that, like I've gotten recognized a couple times just out in the wild, and like it's still so funny to me. I don't know how to react when somebody's like, "Are you Louie Letdown?" Like my first question is like, how do you know who I am?" Which like I think for a lot of people who get recognized, like that's not, they're big enough so that that's not like, you know, it still feels weird to me when it happens. I'm not trying to act like it happens all the time, but I certainly remember the first time it happened, and I would say over the past year it's happened more than probably every year before this combined.
So
Th
cool.
What I'll say is, like, there's no better feeling for me as an artist when somebody, like, after a show is like, "That line you had about so and so was, like, funny to me," or,
Mhm.
like, impactful in whatever way. Like, that's the craziest connection that I feel like I've ever experienced. Like, at least from, like, an artistic standpoint, is, like, somebody, like, relating to or appreciating, like, a line from a song, and, like, it's sticking out to them, and them having the wherewithal to, like, remember it, like, whenever they're meeting me or talking to me about
Yeah.
it. Like, that's why I do this, and that's like why when I'm like talking to the sound engineer that like I want the vocals to be clear, because like that's really the whole point for me, is like
Yeah.
like writing something that's like funny or clever or impactful to somebody for whatever reason. Um, and yeah, I feel like
That's
that's the
so
real magic
cool.
of it. Hell yeah.
Do you have any community shout outs? I know we've mentioned a
Oh
lot of
man, so
people,
many.
but
Damn. Okay, so shout out Rob, Homemade Spaceship. He's helped me, taught me a lot about producing, and has produced a bunch of my new music. Both Pfeiffer and Motif, Joe and Nick, they brought me to Durango for their show down there. That was huge. Colin, Prop Cause,
mhm.
huge inspiration. He's been bringing me on his tour that he's been doing. That's been life changing. My homie Sam Goodman, he's been rocking with me since the start of the project. Taught me a lot about producing. He was my DJ when I was just doing rap sets and I didn't know how to DJ yet. Briscoe Jones, he's the one who taught me how to scratch. Super impactful,
God,
like
I want to
mentor in that
scratch
space.
with you. That sounds
Yeah,
so fun. It's
Mile High
so
DJ,
hard.
Mile High DJ Supply, like that's a great,
Shout out Mile High
yeah,
DJ Supply. I love them.
great place to learn.
Mhm.
Gosh, I'm blanking, but who else? Nick Melillo, Cat Party. One of my best
Mm.
friends, incredible producer. We've rocked a ton of shows together. Keep an eye out for Samso. They're on the come up. It's a Sam and Keith duo. They're really, really dope project. Evan Marks and Greg Glassman at Cervantes given me a ton of opportunity. It's been life changing. Shout out to my homie Jackson at Larimer Lounge. He helped me set up my headliner there earlier this year. Um,
Sam, so the live Trifop Dubtronic Jam Fusion.
yeah, that
I
sounds about
love
right.
that.
No, they're dope. Man, so many people, but yeah, just anybody who's helped me in my career, like, or just given me feedback, or just all the fans too. Like shout out to all the letdowns out there. Your love
Yep.
is felt, it's appreciated. It's been a crazy ride. I'm excited to see where it goes.
Okay, I've been trying to ask every artist I've had on if you have a dream lineup for a curated event for
Hmm.
one night, You can headline it, you can open it, you don't even have to play it.
Yeah.
Who would be the 5 artists for your curated event?
Damn, that's a really good question. All right, well, I'd love to play it. So I might kick off the night because um, I feel like all the people I'm going to want to put on it are going to be people that I should be opening for. So I would probably have Pretty Lights as the headliner. Okay, so here's where I'm at with it. Man, this would be such a sick lineup. I'm probably going like maybe like me and then like a Manic Focus
Mm-hmm.
and then like Mick Jenkins. Shout out to Mick Jenkins, my favorite rapper. He's super super dope. And then probably Pretty Lights and then Anderson Paak. The
Ooh.
order of those might be a little bit different. Maybe it's like me and then like Mick Jenkins and then Manic Focus and then Anderson Paak and then Pretty Lights. Like maybe the order,
Yeah.
maybe the set orders are a little different, but like
That's a new
some type of
vibe.
like hip hop electronic music
Yeah.
show. And I think low key that would work. If you haven't listened to Mick Jenkins, go check him out. He's my favorite rapper. He's from Chicago. Yeah, I think that would be fucking dope. Like
That's so
just
cool.
like a hip hop electronic music night.
Yeah, love that. Oh, I love that.
Maybe Pack and Mick jump up with PL during a set.
Oh
Maybe
my
PL brings me up. You know,
God.
that'd be cool. Derek, if you're
Yeah.
listening, I'm available.
Do you have any? I know we kind of talked about some advice, but anyone beginning in your role doing what you want to do, you have any advice for that?
What I've found is that people who do it for the clout end up not, you know, uh,
They
not
don't have
continuing.
longevity.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah.
longevity. It's just something that seems interesting to them that they abandon. I think people who are in it for creating something new, like whether it's and like I think DJs can create something new. Like I don't think that's necessarily just songwriting, but if you want to like express like your artistic feelings like that, I would lean into your why, I guess, is all I've got to say.
Yeah.
Like figure out why you want to do this in the first place, because you're going to become jaded. There's going to be so many situations that come up that are frustrating. You're going to have a show where you practice hours for it and you show up and something goes wrong before the set, and then there's no
And
adapting
you
to it.
lose half of your set time because that's definitely happened to me before.
Right. Or yeah, it's stuff like that, exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway, be ready to deal with frustrating parts of it, and like always prepare. Like, like I think, like, not to throw shade at other rappers, but like I think like rappers who have their back vocals in for their whole songs, like I think that's whack. I think you should practice your shit and be able to have it memorized and give
Mm-hmm.
people like an authentic expression of, and there's bending of the rules. Like if it's the hook, maybe it doesn't matter as much, whatever. um like, practice your shit, show up ready, like treat it like you're a professional.
Yes.
Politics, unfortunately, is a huge part of it, like in the sense of like who
Yep.
like that, like just being realistic, that's a huge part of it. So like and you shouldn't just be respectful so that people book you, but like be respectful to the staff at the venues. Everybody there is on the same team. You all want to put on a good show. Like, um just be a good person. Help people out when you can. Value your time and your energy, value yourself. And yeah, you know um I think
Just
that's,
keep doing it.
yeah, keep doing it,
Don't
stay
give up.
consistent. Yeah,
Totally.
even if you take a break, don't feel guilty getting back into it.
Yep.
Everybody's on their own pace. Most people have a job outside of music supporting their music career, and you know
We're all just trying to make it at the end
yeah,
of the day.
yeah,
Honestly, having your own set of values, even just
totally,
in general in
yeah,
life, is really going to help you out
yeah,
when dealing with situations where you've never dealt with it before and
right,
you're like, how do I respond to
totally,
this? And
yeah,
yeah,
totally,
it can be really hard, especially because so many people in the scene are so young.
yeah,
Like, so many people in their mid to late 20s, early
yeah.
30s who are creating music.
Impressionable.
Yep,
It's true, like
exactly.
in a lot of different careers, but I
Totally.
think that's a good call out.
Yeah. Is there anything you would change about the EDM scene for the better?
Like more women, people of color, diversity just in general, I think is important. Like it's too many white dudes. Saying
Yeah.
that as a white dude, like,
Yeah.
but
No,
um,
but we don't need less white dudes. We just need more diverse
right,
people, right?
agreed.
Yeah.
And I think like, yeah, I totally agree with that. Um, what else would I change? I mean, like, don't be a fucking creep. Like so many creepy dudes. It's mostly dudes,
Yeah.
and mostly white dudes. Just kind of like
lurking
and like using their position of power. It's true in a lot of industries, but like people using their position of power to do fucked up stuff. Like I don't like that.
It feels like a lot of EDM fans have a moral compass, though.
Yeah.
Given cancel culture, how
a lot of
fast people are able.
a lot of fans do, but I think it's like there's still an element of like, you know, I don't know. It's like in any industry where it's like people,
If business and money are involved,
yeah,
there's a risk for that kind of thing to happen.
yeah, just people who are in positions of power abusing that power.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it at that. Like I think that
Sounds like
less of that would be cool.
Where can we support you?
I'm on all the streaming services, so Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Music, YouTube Music. So listen to my music. I just dropped a track called Check This. Yeah, just listen to my tunes and come to shows.
Bandcamp and Beatport?
No, I need to put my music up there. I don't even know if there's a way that people can actually purchase my music currently, but hey, maybe by the time this podcast come out, they'll be able to.
Go to Rob, he'll help you with all of that.
Yeah.
Cool. And then, so my last question usually is upcoming events, but I mean, we kind of covered all of that.
Yeah.
So any last thing you want to say to the community?
Hey, I know it's cliche, just be a good person. Like if you see some fucked up shit happening, call it out. I think it's important to like have a platform. I do think like artists have a responsibility when they have a platform to speak up about like fucked up shit happening in the world. If you came to my headliner, you know where I stand on a lot of different issues. And at the end of the day, if you listen to my music, I think it's pretty clear where I stand on a lot of things. So
breaking that fourth wall is because people are like, it's not that deep. It's not everything's political. No, everything is political. Maybe not everything's that deep, but everything can relate back to politics and the economy. So like, I appreciate that about you.
Right. And I think it's important to have like balance where like, yes, like if you listen to my music, a lot of it is like fun, nerdy, random shit, but like a lot of it also is like a message that I stand behind. So it's like I think that's important. I respect that in an artist when they can walk that balance of like being able to address real shit, but also like keep things light at other times.
Grizz
so it's like
does a really good job of
that.
He
speaks his mind. Prob Cause too. Like I always see him speaking out on issues, and I respect that a lot about him.
Well, on that note, I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Well, I can't wait to see where you go, and I can't wait to have you back on in a year or two after you blow up. And
that would be tight. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
Cool. See ya.
That's a wrap on this week's episode of 303 BPM. Thank you so much to our guest for coming on, and thank you for listening. If you like what you heard, leave a review, share with a friend, and follow along with us on Instagram at 303BPM Pod, on YouTube at 303BPM Podcast, and 303BPM Podcast on all streaming platforms. Until next time, we'll catch you where the bass hits the hardest.